For me, Two for the Road has kind of become an exception to the rule. Usually with films that exist primarily on flashbacks and recounting narratives, I don't find them that interesting. I prefer, generally speaking, narratives to be completely linear. But this one actually made me a little bit emotional. This was released in 1967, directed by Stanley Donen, written by Frederick Raphael, and stars the fabulous Audrey Hepburn and Albert Finney as Joanna and Mark Wallace, respectively. And the film centres around them recounting their marriage. They have decided, well, they're having an argument. Will they get divorced? Will they make up? I'm not going to say. But as they have this argument, they begin to reminisce about things that happened to them. And that's certainly not in order. It's not so much the case that we start with when they met, when they began courting, when they got married, etc., etc. It kind of goes back and forth a bit, which is something, as I said, I don't particularly like as a narrative style. There's nothing fundamentally wrong with it, but as a rule I don't really like it. So I have to say that part of it just I didn't gel with. It's not what I would have liked, but at the same time, the story wouldn't have worked if it started at the beginning of their relationship and ended with an argument, because that just would have been weird. So it works, it's just not for me. But what I did like were the characters. I really liked Joanna and Mark. I thought they were very easy to get on with, and why this worked for me where similar styles of films haven't is because I genuinely wanted the best for them. The way they recount their memories, the memories that they've chosen, the certain situations, made me really feel like I'd gone on a journey with them. And maybe I've just never seen this done well before. Maybe that's why I've never really liked it. But this one, I felt like I knew the characters. I felt like I'd, by near the end of the film, I felt like I'd been with them on their journey. And it made me a little bit emotional that they were going through this argument and that their marriage was potentially on the rocks. And I kind of just wanted to smack their heads together and say, sort out your problems, because look at all of the things you've been through together. And it was really quite an emotional journey. So for me, the narrative wasn't anything amazing. The style of narrative and the storytelling didn't appeal to me in general. But it's certainly the best example of this kind of narrative structure that I've seen. And it did give me a really good insight into the characters. Obviously, I watched this initially because of Audrey Hepburn, and I love her, and I think she's fantastic. And of course, she's brilliant in this, and the on-screen chemistry between her and Albert Finney is amazing. The on-screen tension between the characters when they're fighting is believable. The casting and the acting across the board is very well. Hepburn's style changes, well, her character's style changes quite a lot through this, which doesn't surprise me at all, but it gives her some kind of physical representation of her character development and how she as an individual, and also her husband, how they have changed over the years and what these situations have done to their personalities and how they've developed and how they've kind of ended up where they are today at the point of the storytelling. So I enjoyed it enough. Because of the narrative style, I knew I wasn't going to fall head over heels in love with it, but I definitely liked it a lot more than I expected. I am happy to recommend it. If you're a fan of Audrey Hepburn, I think you'll love her performance. If you're a fan of Albert Finney, you'll love his performance. I can't really fault it. It's not the film's fault for choosing to use that narrative structure. It works well for what it is. But the characters definitely deserve praise. The representation of the character development I thought was very good. And ultimately, although I will probably not watch Two for the Road again, at least not anytime soon, I am very happy to recommend it.